Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of Roadhouse. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guide 365. Okay, Roadhouse is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Vinegar Syndrome. It can be found as a standard edition and a limited edition, both currently only available at the Vinegar Syndrome website. I expect a standard release sometime at other online retailers in the near future. So, as far as the film itself goes, what can I say? Roadhouse. It is absolute 80s cheesy fun. It is such a cool movie just to sit back, kill 2 hours or so with, and Patrick Swayze as Dalton. You know, he's one of the badasses as far as characters in that era go. And I unapologetically enjoy the film. It's really just a turn your brain off kind of movie. And you know, it's funny because while it was made in the 80s and it has some of that flair to it, you could definitely see a little bit more of a 90s, early 90s style in the production. It's just, I don't know, it was just something I picked up on when watching it recently. But, you know, it's a fun movie. It is. Of course, you do have Patrick Swayze, you know, rest in peace. Sam Elliott, Kelly Lynch. I mean, a great cast. And you also have the guy who played Jackie Treehorn from The Big Lebowski. You know, I like the film a lot. Of course, you know, it's just one of those you really just enjoy all around and have a good time with. Is it silly and some of the things don't make sense? Yes, absolutely. And it's funny because I remember when I watched this for the first time, the first hour or so really feels a lot different than the last hour. You know, it's just, it has that kind of a weird shift, you know, it becomes like, you know, a bouncer trying to do, you know, his job, you know, turning around a dive. But then it becomes more of a, like, you know, the evil millionaire, you know, you got to stop him, and then there's things blowing up. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I like it a lot, and check it out. I do recommend it if you want to have a good time. All right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment, but first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the 4K Ultra HD limited edition of Roadhouse from Vinegar Syndrome. It only comes in this case if you order directly from Vinegar Syndrome. When eventually it does come to like Amazon and deep discount, it's only going to have the internal, you know, casing, and that's it. But as far as artwork goes, I like the style. I think it really works. And then we have the back, the spine, and then we get it open up here. We have the slipcover, which I'll touch on in a second. Also with a booklet. Let's give you some information. And then we have, I don't know if I showed that a moment ago, but yeah, I like that. It looks good. And then we have the slipcover edition, which of course has original artwork and some embossing on Roadhouse. So, you know, I swear Vinegar Syndrome and packaging is top notch. And then we have the back spine here. And we have reversible artwork, which I'll show in a moment. And all that information. And we have some artwork on the discs. And this is the reversible artwork for Roadhouse. You know, you can't ask for anything better. I swear Vinegar Syndrome has some of the best packaging out there. You know, slipcover, box, and everything. Really solid. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Roadhouse on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 2:35:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and graded with HDR10. Now, according to Vinegar Syndrome, Roadhouse is newly scanned and restored from the 35mm original camera negative. Let me just say, the results are exceptional. I never expected this to look as good as it does, and honestly, it feels like it could have been shot yesterday. As for the restoration, I struggle to find any kind of imperfections or blemishes. It's that clean. This is one of those transfers that is nearly flawless. Grain is very light in density with no signs of any DNR or post-processing. It looks very cinematic. When it comes to the HDR grading, I was very pleased with what I saw. The 80s era clothing pops visually, as does the neon lighting at the double deuce. Primaries are strikingly bold, especially red, to the point it's almost eye-melting. If your setup isn't calibrated, I could see some color bleed, but if you're dialed in properly, you'll be good to go. Day sequences look beautiful with piercing blue skies and lush green landscapes. Skin tones run on the warm side, sometimes a little too warm. I've noticed this to be the case with past Vinegar Syndrome 4K transfers. Once again, if your TV is calibrated properly, it'll mitigate this element. Night sequences are nicely rendered and appropriately deep. Lighting sources, the outside sign at the double deuce for example, contrast very well with the night. Shadow detail looks good with no visible signs of black crush. The 4K resolution really gives you a significant bump in detail. Textures stand out much more so than on the previous formats, with cuts, bruises, and gaping wounds adding excellent depth. This film, oh man, I love the 80s, has a fair amount of skin showing, and you'll be glad for the bump in detail and the clarity. Roadhouse on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a DTS 5.1 as well as a 2.0 audio track. Both mixes have solid presentations on the 4K disc. I opted to watch the movie in its entirety with the 5.1. I did, however, sample the 2.0 and it sounded good, full, and energetic. For the 5.1, I think overall it had a good presence. While it doesn't have a bombastic audio design that would be found in today's movies, I also wouldn't say it's a product of its era. I feel it falls somewhere in between. For the surrounds, there's a good amount of ambience, whether it's from one of the many bar fights, music from the band, or action elements. It does provide a nice sense of immersion. The fronts handle on-screen action well, with dialogue cleanly presented through the center. The low end is modest in its delivery, and to be honest, this is the only spot I feel the audio struggled a bit. Punches sometimes felt flat, explosions like the one at Red Store moved the needle slightly better, and the monster truck sequence rumbles along satisfactory. On the other hand, when the band is rocking out at the double deuce, some of those beats produced more consistent LFE. It's in no way a deal breaker, but a little more heft in those other areas would have been welcome in regards to the low end. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Roadhouse on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a solid A. Image-wise, this is an outstanding transfer. The Vinegar Syndrome restoration really shines with fantastic clarity and a bold-looking HDR grading. This is one 4K fans of the film will appreciate greatly. For the audio mix, I'm going to score this one a B. The DTS 5.1 is a clean and well-rounded track. Audio cues fully immerse the listener with a good balance of action and quieter moments. While it's not the most impactful audio experience, it's still very solid in your own home theater. So that is my review of Roadhouse on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. As I mentioned, the only way you can pick this one up currently is if you order directly from the Vinegar Syndrome website, but I do expect it to arrive at Amazon and other online retailers sometime in 2023. But I also want to hear from you. If you picked it up already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.